House a vote. Let us vote. We came here to do our job. We came here to work.
Rise up, Democrats. Rise up, Americans. This cannot stand. We will occupy this floor. We will no longer be denied a right to vote.
Those were House Democrats earlier today in what has already been an hours-long sit-in to win new limits on guns in the wake of the Orlando terror attack. And tonight there is more drama as we get word that Republicans have had enough with what they're calling a political stunt, and they're vowing to take back control of the chamber any moment now. Here was Speaker Paul Ryan just a short time ago.
This is nothing more than a publicity stunt. That's point number one. Point number two is this bill was already defeated in the United States Senate. Number three, we're not going to take away a citizen's due process rights. We're not going to take away a citizen's constitutional rights without due process. That was already defeated in the Senate, and this is not a way to try and bring up legislation.
Joining me now, Ben Shapiro, editor-in-chief of thedailywire.com, and Richard Fowler, nationally syndicated radio talk show host and senior fellow at the New Leaders Council. So let me start with you on that, Richard, on Paul Ryan's point, which is these measures already failed in the Senate. So what, did the Democratic senators miss their opportunity?
Well, I think the Democratic senators, once again, were failed by crazy filibuster rules. So I think what the House Democrats are doing, by them sitting down in this House, they're saying, at minimum, at least give us what the Senate has. Give us a chance to vote on this bill. Even if we lose the vote, which they probably will, give us a chance to vote. And here's why Republicans won't let them vote. Because they know Republicans will have to go on record voting against a bill that will block somebody like Omar Mateen from getting an AK-47 or an assault rifle.
But they always do that. The Republicans always do that. They don't seem shameful about that.
They never bring it. They will never bring it to the floor. They have not brought a gun control bill to the floor since Republicans have had control in the past 6 years, I would argue.
Well, is that true, Ben? Because, maybe he's right. They haven't actually let one come to the floor. But the Republicans don't seem shy about their gun stance.
I mean, they just brought a bunch of bills to the floor, basically, in the Senate. So I'm confused as to this idea that Republicans aren't willing to talk about this stuff. Well, I understand that. The House, I'm sure, would be willing to bring up the Senate's measures that were just rejected from the Republicans.
It's Ben's turn.
Richard, hold on a second. I'm sure that the House Republicans would be happy to push forward the NRA's proposal for a 72-hour waiting period for people who are on the terror watch list. But the Democrats don't get to run the chamber just because they're sitting there on their fat cans, unable to get up. I'm sorry, but this is not how the process works. It's hilarious to me that when Barack Obama controlled both chambers of Congress, he didn't bring any of these gun control bills forward. Now that they're in the minority, they want to run on these issues, so they're going to sit there and they're going to pretend that they're doing something noble by not getting up. I mean, my working theory is that they actually can't get up. I mean, they're all over the age of 80, apparently.
I don't know about the age, but speaking of the size of their cans, I don't know whether they're existent, the current size is big or not. But Elizabeth Warren just arrived with Dunkin' Donuts. So a word to the wise. Moment on the lips, right? You know what they say. Richard, let me ask you about an interesting dynamic that's happening tonight, because guess who the ACLU is siding with? The Republicans. The Republicans, the ACLU does not believe the terror watch list or the no-fly list can be the basis for denying someone their Second Amendment rights because they don't have due process rights that are in any way meaningful.
Listen, I disagree with the ACLU, and every now and then organizations get it wrong, and I think the ACLU has this wrong, but so does the House Republicans. Every time, after Sandy Hook, there was a moment of silence and nothing was done. After Aurora, one of their own members was shot and killed by a criminal who shouldn't have had access to a gun, there was another moment of silence, and there was nothing done.
Let me ask you a question about that, Richard. What was done with respect to mental health reforms?
That's nothing, Megyn. Here's the thing, and this
nothing
is what
the answer.
This is what shocks me.
So why aren't they having a sit-in about that? Why is it all about the weapon of choice?
Democrats will vote for a mental health reform bill or mental health screens as part of the background check. Republicans will bring it to the floor.
I don't hear anybody talking about that in the sit-in, Ben.
Democrats just rejected exactly that amendment in the Senate. So I'm wondering exactly what Richard is talking about.
And even in this particular case, we're talking about terror. I mean, in this particular case, where it's not even a new town, it's a terror situation.
Well, I mean, there's
That's
that,
forbidden.
and there's
Go
also the fact that the Democrats are in love with the Fifth Amendment when Hillary's aides have to plead with it, but they seem averse to it when it comes to, you or I being put on the terror watch list. By the way, John Lewis, who's leading this whole protest on the floor of the House, he should know better. He's on the no-fly list, and he's had trouble getting off the no-fly list. He's been stopped 35 to 40 times trying to get through airports.
Right. Think of that. 35 to 40 times a U.S. congressman. I mean, it's rather irritating to get put on that list, Richard, and they don't give you a heads up, and people don't want it to be used as the basis of depriving them their ability to get on an airplane and get a gun.
So here's a compromise. Let's work on making the terror watch list and the no-fly list increasing the rules to get on there, and in return, let's make sure that folks who are on that list don't have the right to buy a gun. Okay. This is a simple concept to me, right? No, Omar Mateen should not have been able to buy an assault rifle after being investigated by the FBI twice. He killed 49 LGBTQ folks, and there's no answer from the Republicans at the moment of silence.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, many people in America are wondering how the hell Omar Mateen was given a gun, got a license.
Well,
for
I
a
mean,
gun.
the reason Omar Mateen was given a gun is because he was taken off the terror watch list by the same FBI that now apparently has lost his wife. So I guess the argument is the FBI is so incompetent that they took him off the terror watch list and lost his wife, but I'm supposed to turn over my gun to them if they put me on a list? That's how this works now?
No, just your AK-47 and your assault rifle, Ben. What is
my AR-15? By the way, there's a difference between an AK-47 and an AR-15.
It's a weapon of war. This is not Afghanistan. This is not Iraq. This is not Libya. There's no reason for you to have a weapon of war in your garage or enough weapons to blow up the Taliban.
But you know what?
You don't get to tell me what weapons I do and do not get to hold, Richard Fowler. I'm sorry, we don't live in a dictatorship.
When the AR-15 jammed, you know what he did? He took out his handgun and he started to shoot some more. And nobody's talking about banning handguns because that's just never going to happen in modern day America. So I don't know what the solution is either, gentlemen, but I don't think these guys we're watching here on Screen Left do either. However, we await the pandemonium because that sounds kind of interesting. Guys, thank you.
Thanks, Megyn.
We're going to keep our eye on the House of the Floor and see whether, in fact, chaos ensues.